Hey y'all, my name is Jesse Wessendorf. I'm going to do a quick rundown of doing a simple project in C Sharp just to kind of simulate a whiteboard interview without having to do the interview. And so it'll allow you to see what I can do to see if I'm a good fit for the position that you're opening. And so the project that I'm doing today is going to be a very simple web browser. It's going to be extremely simple. I'm probably not going to put a navigation on it because all that stuff is, if the stuff that I'm going to put on here is an address bar, and instead of having a button or anything up here, we're going to, whenever you press enter, it will make the browser go to the site. It will also put in an HTTP at the beginning, but only if there's not an HTTP colon slash slash or an HTTPS colon slash slash already pre-appended on the URL. Some of the things that I'm going to be showing you are just putting some basic UI components on there with the correct layout so that it'll look it will work as expected whenever you maximize or resize the window. And the second thing is to do the regex operation to format the URL and to avoid unnecessary site not found errors from the web view, um, and to display whichever site you're wanting to display. All right, so we're going to start by putting in, over to my toolbox, and let's get a text box for the URL bar. And I'm going to make it flush against the sides and make sure it's anchored up here. And then I'm going to also put a web browser here. Okay, so let me make sure that these are anchored here. I'm going to leave a little bit of a space there, I think, because the text box does have, yeah, it does have a small line, but I want to make the grid, since I can't get it very well. Let me get the grid and do the background as black, just so that there will be a solid black line down at the bottom, so I don't have to do custom border stuff in here. It's easy to do this way, I think. Okay, and so let me make sure that this has, oh, I don't want the text change listener on there. It's not going to hurt anything, but I prefer not having it on there. Make sure it's here so I don't get an alert. Okay, so the name is going to be URL field, vertical alignment, text. There's not going to be any text in here. And text change listener is taken off. All right. So the text box is, I'm going to do the key up on a new event handler, and then the web browser, I'm going to name it web view. Okay, so now the URL field key up. So I'm going to handle if the enter button was pressed. So if e.event get the key equals key dot enter, we are going to get and format the URL and then make the browser navigate. And because the browser should have a window that automatically pops up to say if you want to search on Bing, I'm just going to let it do that because, like I said, this is only for a quick project and that stuff is easy to do. If I can do all this, if I can do the very basic stuff that I'm doing here, adding the additional functionality will be just as easy. So this is kind of the thought process. So at this point, let's make a method quickly that says it returns. Let's return a string. So we're going to return a string, and it's going to grab it from the URL field, and it's going to format it to append an HTTP colon slash slash, but only if it does not already contain that, or an HTTPS. Get URL formatted. String URL is equal to URL field dot text, and then we're going to return the URL as formatted. This so string. So we're going to do colon back slashes is equal to colon and double back slashes, and then string colon front slashes is that. Okay. So if the URL, does not contain colon back slashes and the URL does not contain front slashes, then URL is equal to HTTP plus URL. So for brevity, I'm going to put this here and place this here. And then we will return the URL. Okay. And for the naming convention, we're going to do this. And I'm going to do this for naming convention. And do that for the naming convention. String URL is equal to get URL formatted. And then we're going to make the browser navigate to it. So we're going to say I call the browser webview dot source is equal to URL, or I'm sorry, a new URI of URL. Is that right? There we go. So, and since I'm only using this once, let me go ahead and stick this here. And then I can do both of those actions within one line of code and still have it easy to understand. Okay, so if it's enter, so whenever you press enter inside of it, it's going to make the source of the web view the same. I'll delete those comments for brevity. And so now let's test it. And let's go ahead and start it up. Okay, so there's facebook.com. And so now this is fine, but when I put the auto setting on it, for automatic width, it made the thing shorter. So I would imagine that I would have to take this wrapper off. Alright, so let's redo this. See if that fixes it. No, that's not it either. Okay, so key up, horizontal field height, vertical alignment top, width, alright, so how I'm going to fix this, the horizontal alignment needs to be a stretch. Alright, so now we're going to restart it. there we go. So this should, let's go to facebook.com, maximize it so it's still good, and this is fine. All right. So that works. All right, so that's it. So I'm going to post the source code in a repository on my GitHub account, and I will post a link under it to go and check out the code if you're wanting to look at it. All right, thanks. Have a good